this, it feels like he's just, both on the run and trying to find somebody, and it's kind of hopeless a lot of the time. And I found that a little
and
different.
honestly, it's kind of goofier too as a hero.
Yeah.
Like one of the opening scenes is him like parkouring in Chicago in his boxers.
Yeah, after like robbing and tying up like two 75-year-olds. Oh
yeah,
my
I mean,
God.
I love that.
Me too. That was funny.
That old lady.
Oh yeah, she tells him
because-
to like kill them all or something like that too. Like she's very go get him.
I wrote down the line. She goes, "I hope you find your son," because he's basically like taken the family hostage,
Right.
and the old grandma like either just thinks he's handsome or thinks he's charming or whatever, and so she doesn't need to get tied up. She's actually like feeding him breakfast while he's like holding her son at like gunpoint. But she ends up being like he ends up working on like an old man disguise to essentially make his way out of the apartment because he's being chased by the government institution. And she says, "I hope you find your son. And if you see the feds, fucking kill them."
Grandma, don't fuck with the police. Oh
No,
my God.
she agrees with his distrust of the federal government on that one.
Yeah, and then for that to lead into like Kirk Douglas jumping onto like train tracks that are outside the window, and then jumping like monkey bar style onto a pole hanging from a 3-story building. It's such a wild it's wild imagery to see, because Kirk Douglas is still kind of like an older man at this point too. So to see him do all these like physical things, it was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, well, and then he's disguised as like a goofy old man, like he's in like
Right.
he's in like
the
a
cane.
Death Wish movie or something like that, like that bit where he like tries to get the guys to rob him by like holding the camera. He's just pretending to be like this innocent old man,
Right?
And but then he takes like the cops hostage and he leads them on like this really intense like foggy nighttime car chase. Mm-hmm. Which is like,
rather than speed too, the fog is kind of just used for like the bad guys start to get confused on who they're going for. So I think one of them ends up shooting two of his own men, and he's just like, "How was I supposed to know? The fog is so thick." So there's stuff like that. That's really interesting about the chase.
Well, yeah, and that is like the closest I've seen to like a straight up action scene in a De Palma movie. Like it's like the government dudes are rocking Uzis, and they're this very moody fog filled compositions while they're like driving through it. Eventually, the cars like fall off the docks, and there's these huge like actiony explosions.
Yeah,
and
which
shit
by
like
the
that.
way, I don't even know if it makes any sense. Not that I really care, but the one bad guy's car goes off the dock and then it blows up. But then afterwards, I'm pretty sure Kirk Douglas drives his car off that same dock, but then his car just lands in the water and he gets out. He's totally fine. And I was like, I didn't, I just kind of went, all right, I think that was just kind of a mistake on the part of like movie logic or whatever. But I found that interesting that they were like, we'll blow this car up. We'll do the same thing, same area, but he'll be okay. It was just such a weird choice, I found, but still,
and also just his choice to just ruin that guy's car. It's very mean.
That too, yeah.
Come on,
because he even
Douglas.
asked him. He's like, "Just don't ruin my new car, man. I know that you."
He's like, "Man, I will drive you to safety. Just don't fuck with my car."
Oh man, yeah, pretty entertaining.
But while Kirk Douglas is, he's essentially just running away from the government and also, trying to find information about where this government agency has taken his son. That's, his main storyline that he's getting.
Yeah.
And while we're getting that story, we are sort of cross-cutting with essentially what is, a little bit of just Carrie again. It's like 70s Mean Girls about a girl who,
except I guess,
has telekinetic powers.
Yeah, and I guess the only difference would be instead of like an overbearing protective mother, she is forced to go into this institution where they make it as if she's going to be trained and well kept, but it's really for a corrupted government agency and all that. So
yeah,
that's really the only difference.
It sounds too like these powers are like a little bit more normalized in this world. Like in the school, there's like lessons on like extrasensory perception and
people are aware.
biofeedback shit and she is just happens to be way stronger than anybody else. They kind of suggest that, you know, everyone kind of has this ability to do thought transmission and electromagnetic fields and all this sort of like movie jargon that they talk about it.
They mention like a level, like somebody can achieve alpha level. So it does appear as if
she's got the most alpha brain.
Yeah. It does appear as if there's like enough training you can achieve like more levels of psychic powers or whatever. But it really only deals with Gillian for the most part.
Yeah, because they show that sequence, like for example, like with the train set in class, where like one of the girls has the ability, but you know she can only make the train, you know, move very, very slowly.
Whereas Gillian like sends that thing off the tracks and basically explodes it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I love the split diopter shot where the bottom half of the screen is the train like whizzing around the bottom of the frame, and the top is like it's cutting to like different people's faces reacting to them watching that train. Just a very cool, again, visual way of, you know, connecting that these people are reacting to something very specific.
Yeah, and this is also where we get the first glimpse of kind of like the violence that the psychic powers can bring about, and also how De Palma uses like the flow of blood. Like a lot of the time, instead of something, well, you know, there are chunks here and there. We'll get to that, but most of the time, Brian De Palma just has like blood start to just pour out of a hole in the body, whether it be the nose, the eyes, whatever it is, and it's just like very suddenly and very. It's just this constant flow, and it feels as if like it's just the bloodless leaving your body so suddenly. I don't know. There's something very scary about that.